tonight. I'm here with SEBASTIAAN ROTHMANN, current professional boxing coach, but you've had a fantastic career as well. A lot of people give you a lot of praises when they ever see you walking in the room. Let's start off from the right at the beginning. You're not born in South Africa. You're born in, well, you can say it.
Yeah, well, I was born in Israel. My dad was stationed there in the embassy, and that's where I was born in 1974.
Do you ever go back anytime?
I haven't gone back. My brother's gone back. He was also born there, but I haven't. I definitely want to in the future. I love the Israeli people, but I'd definitely like to go make a turn there.
As a youngster, was boxing in your blood or no?
Not at all. No, I'm the first one in the family, but I used to follow it from small. I think for me, always the heavyweight champion of the world was always that guy that stood out from all the other sports. It's an individual sport. It's almost like the baddest man on the planet. So I always followed it from that side, and then. If you lived in the 80s with the Hagler, Duran, Leonard, all of those guys in Hearns, which is probably my favorite. If you lived in that era, you can't not be a boxing fan.
Yeah, I wish I was around for that era. Your amateur career, you started very late. Typically amateurs start when they're young. You did it the other way around.
Yes, unfortunately I come out of a house where my parents said you see certain academic qualifications to qualify to do what you want. I wanted to box from small. They said no, it's not the greatest sport for the brain. Being academic people like they are, and I started when I was 18. I first had to make sure that I could go to university. I haven't gone until now, but when they saw I really wanted it and I would do my part, they allowed me, and my career went very fast with the amateurs.
Talk to us about your very first fight. You never won your first fight, according to...
As a professional fighter, my first fight was against Molisi Koza, who later on became an SA light heavyweight champ. I think he had 3 fights and it was my first one.
Yeah. And
I think besides the moment was too big and me pulling weight to get to the weight, I think I was still very unprofessional. And I thought because of what I achieved in the amateurs, you're really in there. And it was a Brixton Palace. Uncle Jeff Ellis was the promoter. And I lost on points. It was a very close fight. I think Bongani still wrote in Sowetan. It's unfortunate there had to be a winner and a loser. It was that close. But for me, I personally lost that fight, I think.
Did you ever have I know you're a very humble coach, but did you ever have an ego as a boxer or no?
Not per se with people, but in the ring. Always in the ring, because that's my alter ego. That's the one place where you can't put me in a cooker and say, you have to do this. I do with my fighters, where I believe a boxer is like an artist, and the canvas you can draw whatever you want. So you have to have a little bit of arrogancy, and also I believe that I wasn't as good as my opponent, so I had to get under their skin. And by getting under their skin is usually by talking to them, taunting a bit, letting them get off the game plan, because if they catch a game plan, I can't keep up. So it's one of the mental aspects that I brought in.
You said to me a bit earlier that you never felt like you were like the most talented boxer. You always had to work harder than others. Why do you think? What did you see in yourself that you thought that?
No, there's a lot of things. As an amateur, you're in a team with Hawk Makapula, Philip Ndu, Silence Mabuza, Ivan Buglalu, Swim Wirters, all these guys, and then you're not up to what they are. If maybe it's genetically you're not as quick, fast as them. Technically you're not as clever as them. You don't adapt as fast. So for me, it was always I had to work harder than what the other guys. And to a certain extent, I'm grateful for it, because that little bit extra work lets you learn a bit more than what the average guy would do.
The majority of your career in South Africa, at least, was fought at the Carousel and at Carnival City. Those two venues are hardly used anymore for boxing. Maybe Carnival City more, but the Carousel not so much. Are you a bit sad about that?
I am. It was the Cheyenne Saloon was a hell of an atmosphere. Everybody felt very close to you. Especially when I started singing some stuff like Shosha Loza and everything. It felt like the crowd was, and I think we're definitely losing a bit of that, which is unfortunate. But then again, we got an Emperor's Palace, and I think that for me the saddest thing is probably Sun City not hosting boxing at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. First WBU title, Rob Norton. What do you remember about that?
Well, luckily I didn't see the highlights of his fights before we fought. I knew he beat Jacob Mofokeng. I had utmost respect. Jacob being a big southpaw, strong guy. He beat one of my old stablemates, Brian Herman. So I knew it was hell hard. My big advantage was being Corey Saunders' sparring partner, being a big southpaw. And I knew Robert wasn't nearly as tough as Corey. If I could make sparring, I could make the fight easy. And because of that, we were prepared right. The game plan was also totally different than what you usually do with a southpaw. Everybody will tell you get your foot on the outside, throw straight, right, left, hook against the southpaw. The southpaws know that. Our whole game plan was to put pressure on him. For every punch he was throwing, I was going to throw 3-4, but also behind the jab, which most orthodox guys don't use a jab correctly against the southpaw. My jab was my best punch, and just by keeping Robert off guard and not in off balance, he couldn't catch rhythm, and that's why he gassed. Yes, his eye was closed at the end, you couldn't see out of it, but he was gassed. Just because of my work rate, my work ethic was quite good.
You always talk about it, as a trainer, you're speaking to Jabulani earlier, you say it's a team. If it's a whole team. Who are the strategists behind your game plans?
Well, the brain of boxing in South Africa, Volbrecht. Till today, I'm on awe just with the knowledge that he has. And he would work stuff out so that I wish I could do that more with my boxers. I have to go sit, thank God for technology these days. You can go on YouTube and all of this and have analysis, explain to you what happens. Harold never had that. Harold just got the brains. He can tell you, listen, if you get your head in this position, you can hit these punches, the guy can't counter you. If you do this, he can't. If you hit so many punches in this round, take a breather in this round, because of his experience and being an old fighter himself. He was the main goal, and we always had guys around him who just fit it in because he made you so comfortable with it. Again, there was no limitations of what he allowed. It was never something, don't do this. It's always be yourself, but do more of this.
You eventually campaigned for a long part of your career as well in the UK. How did that come about?
Well, back then, Golden Gloves had a lot of promotions in the UK with other promoters, and I think I caught it at the right time. I was really blessed. I loved fighting in the UK. Won my title fight in Titful in Wales, and I had a good following in the UK. People were always super nice to me, loved me. My wife would walk in London, and people would come and greet you. In South Africa, if somebody recognized you, it was more being a rugby player or something. So they didn't really know who you were. Where in the UK, with the boxing following, it was quite nice.
Do you feel that the boxers do need a little bit more love in this country? Obviously you've got stars, world champions that can walk in a shopping centre and not even be recognised. Do you feel that they need more love?
Yes, I do. I also think we are own worst enemies. We don't do enough marketing-wise, where I think a guy like Kevin Lerena definitely up the bar there. I think the way he conducts himself in public media, the way he goes up to people, greets people, always has time for people. I think that's the other problem. We need to get our guys to understand that they're a product. They're selling themselves. One thing I must tell you as well is where we in 99, myself, Tulani Malinga and a few other guys, we had people who educated us how to talk to the media. And they haven't had these workshops again. I think MBSA should definitely look at that, because if you get guys who can sell themselves, you make the work a lot easier for a promoter and for Boxing South Africa and everybody, because people want to follow heroes. But a hero has to be accessible and he has to be able to conduct himself in a certain way. We had guys like Monet du Plessis telling us how to conduct yourself as a sportsman. Rian Kruijwagen had taught us how to talk to the media, and I think that's lacking at the moment.
Yeah, obviously the guys need to sell. You're right. They need to sell themselves because people don't know who they are. And you can't solely rely on television to get you there. You got to go out and actually interact with the public. Tell us about the cruiserweight limit change that you experienced during your career. Obviously, you fought comfortably at, I think it was 85, 86, and then it changed at some point during your career.
Yes, it was 190 pounds, 86.18, and they moved it up to 200 pounds, and I think it's a little bit more now. I think it's 200 and something. Just over the 200, it's 90, almost 91. And that got me a bit. I'm walking still around about the 190 pounds. So if I go run now, I'll make the weight. Where just a little bit extra, you get a guy who can pull from 100 kg down to 90, and it doesn't bother you in the first 2-3 rounds, but as the fight progresses, especially if he puts pressure on you, that extra weight on your legs, that definitely catches up to you. So it got me a bit, but then again, I fought a guy like Anton Nel, who was the SA heavyweight champion. I outboxed him with movement and stuff, so you use what you got, but the limit definitely hurt me more than what other guys.
The advantage of being smaller or bigger? What's the advantage?
Well, if you're smaller, you're gonna have to be faster. If you're bigger, you have to use it. Put pressure on the guy, lie on the guy. So it's all about how you use it. Probably if you're a lanky, tall guy and you're way heavier and you got hand speed, that's probably the ultimate. So. Okay,
but in a fight, it's probably better to be a little bit bigger, right?
Correct.
But in sparring, sometimes the smaller guys get the better.
Correct. But remember, in sparring, you don't go full out.
course.
With the weight, usually if you have speed and you got a weight behind it, that's power.
Yeah.
And so it does make a difference in the long run, especially over 12 round, if the guy with the weight uses it right. I mean, if you see Tyson Fury and these guys, they're massive. And the reason, besides the height difference and stuff, they use their weight right. So the Klitschko's did it especially well. So when the guys get in, they just lie on you. And with the rules being the way they are at the moment interpreted, the shorter guy can't really use it to his advantage. I mean, these days they break quite a lot and then they start over, and then the short guy who did all the hard work getting in the inside has to start over. And that's not really fair if you look at, when in the old days, even in Tyson's time, they would let you work in the inside, which hasn't happened in the last few years.
When you got, I don't know, sometimes I see it as an advantage if a cruiserweight goes up to heavyweight, because you got guys like Evander Holyfield, as of late Alexander Usyk. We don't know how he's going to do, but they got the speed advantage over the heavyweights. You don't think that maybe that also plays?
Correct, only if they can get in. Remember now that because the guys lie on you, you can't work when you're in. I mean, on the outside, you're not going to beat a guy 6'9" with a good jab like Tyson Fury if you can't get in. Yeah. It's impossible. Usyk or whoever, if he can't get in, he neutralifies, all his assets are gone. Now, if you let him work in the inside, yes, because then he's got a hand speed, like we saw with Ruiz against Anthony Joshua. Joshua didn't hold on. If Joshua used his size and held in the inside, it would have been totally different. But because Ruiz with the faster hands and the inside could work, and the referee allowed him to work, that worked to his advantage. So it's a casualty, but in the end of that, I still think it's how the rules are conducted in a way. If you got a referee who's going to allow you to work in the inside, the short guy is always up for it. If you're going to get a referee to break them fast and not work in the inside, the tall guy always has the advantage.
Let's talk about your career again. Your career regrets. Do you have any?
No, because even the bad times taught me stuff which I can use one day as a coach. And yes, and there were downs. I mean, Neil Bell leading for 11 rounds and 2 and something minutes, and walking into a short right hand as I was getting a bit tired. That's a bad one. But then again, would I be in a position today where I can be a better coach? I don't think so. I would have loved to win the IBF. I would have loved to be the guy to fight Mormac and hopefully beat Mormac and be the undisputed champion like Neil Bell was. But there's reasons behind it. So and you don't really regret it. You all take it as a step into. So things don't just happen. There's a reason why things happen. I mean, my first professional fight I lost, but because I lost that fight, I got title fights easier because I got a loss on my record. So the good and the bad altogether, I'm still a lot more positive of what I got. If you gave me this and told me at 16 you're going to be able to do all of this, I would have taken it any time.
And do you think that, obviously you talked about what you can coach later, that guys that take more losses, let's just say like your record, 18 wins, 6 losses, make a better coach than a guy that's 50-0, like a Floyd Mayweather, for example? Because they've never faced adversity, to be fair.
They haven't, but then again, there's only one Mayweather. You can't, I believe boxing is pattern recognition. And the reason why a guy like Mayweather is so good is because he's been doing it from such a young age. He's in a boxing family. He's seen 99% of the things out there. I mean, when he struggled against a guy like Medina because the guy was so unorthodox. So yes, he didn't get out of adversity, but then again, he's broken hands, he's got an injury, so there is adversity. Nobody in our sport gets through a career without adversities.
But what about in a situation, like I'll just play a scenario, guy gets knocked down, Floyd Mayweather's in his corner, Floyd's never been technically knocked down before. What sort of advice he has to give to that guy? Do you not think it'd be lacking in that sort of regard?
Yes, but the way I know Mayweather, he probably did homework about it. He probably asked his dad, listen, you've been down, Julio Cesar Chavez kicked your ass, how do you recover? Yeah. So the way I know. But yes, there is definitely advantages of having a loss, because you can tell a guy, listen, take a knee. Where I mean, we had a fight the other day where we fought one of Durant's guys, and the guy should have just taken the knee and the fight wouldn't have been stopped. The fight was stopped too fast. And yeah, that's it.
Your career highlights. What's the first thing that sticks out in your mind as the best moments?
It's a title fight of the year with Earl Marias, a great friend of mine. There was definitely a spiritual thing in that fight. I mean, we were the best of friends today. Love each other outside of the ring, hate each other's guts in the ring. There's something special. I still get goosebumps when I think about it. Unbelievable. He was prospect of the year. He was the favorite. I was Corey Saunders' sparring partner, and it just turned out better than what we could have imagined. We got the best out of each other, so that was a highlight. Then the WBU win against Robert Norton, which I was a no-hoper. Nobody gave me a chance. I didn't give myself the best of chance anyway. I just said, because of the 3 years in the army, if I die, I die. I'm just going to give it my best. And it worked. The game plan of Harold worked perfectly. So definitely a highlight. And then a lot of things behind the scenes. Being in Corey Saunders in a heavyweight title fight in the Staples Arena, being in a corner there with Harold. The trips we did, the funny stuff behind it, that's definitely some of the things. And then just meeting some of my heroes, you know, Evander Holyfield being at a fight, George Foreman doing a commentary at Corey's fight, just stuff like that. Giving the WBU ring for the 5th defense in the UK, stuff like that. There's too many to mention really. So.
And then just lastly, because I know you're a trainer now, if you had to come up against another trainer, world, I'm not talking about South Africa, in the world, is there a dream trainer that you'd like to come up against and tackle?
Emmanuel Stewart, because of the heavyweights, not because even of Tommy Hearns, just what he did with the Klitschko's and how he got them back. I mean, Vladimir Klitschko after Corey, there was 2 losses, quite close to each other, and he reigned after that for about 10 years, I think. Just how, because he uses your advantages. You know, it's easy when you do all these different things and you got this guy with all these different skills. But when you have a fighter you know has got weaknesses, which Vladimir definitely had in the chin, and you can neutralize the opponent that can't use it or can get out of him, I think he would definitely be somebody I would have loved to go up against. I've gone up against my old coach, and that's also not the nicest thing. Got a W over him, 2 I think, and I hope we never stay across each other in a ring again.
How does Harold take it when you beat him in the ring?
No, better than what I thought, because Harold is just a gentleman. He's more happy for me than what he's about the loss for him. No, he's still a mentor for me. I still phone him, I still ask him questions, and he always helps.
He doesn't have necessarily all the talents that he used to have, but he's still got the brains to do it. Do you think Harold still has another run in the sport?
I think so. I think with Truton and a few other guys coming through, and I think with Harold, it's just, you understand you have to be a professional when you get to him. Okay, Harold never had to ask me about my weight, never had to get me fit, and because when you go box for Harold, you go use the boxing brain. If you want to get a conditioner, go get yourself a conditioner. There's guys out there. If you want to get somebody to help you with your weight, go see a dietitian. Harold is a boxing person out and out. He's got a boxing brain. I sometimes feel a lack of respect towards him from the people within boxing because they don't understand how great he is, boxing-wise. So, yeah, for me, if he will definitely, because he's going to get a guy who is as hungry as me, who's willing to work as hard as me, and he will take him higher than what everybody thinks.
Maybe at the next BSA award, they should probably give him something special to, just appreciate what he's done for a lot of the boxers that have come through. Correct.
I'm one of the big supporters of it. I would love it. I mean, we still talk to a lot of the guys in our stable, and I would definitely like them to do something for him.
All right, Sebastian, thank you very much. I'm in Pretoria here today. It's been actually, it's always nice coming out here. You're very hospitable, and, you have the Jabulani here as well, who's doing really well. Congratulations thus far on your career. It's too soon because there's lots more to come. Very young in the professional coaching game, and all the best for the future, and we'll see you.
Thanks so much, Hayden. Appreciate it.